Rasputin is famous for compelling eyes, mystical powers, and a great sexual appetite. His death has become legendary. No other Russian has penetrated so deeply into urban folklore and pop culture. The question of whether Rasputin was a holy man or a master manipulator has been the subject of much debate and controversy. Whether you're a history buff and know the facts about Rasputin's relationship with the royal Romanov family, or a novice looking to uncover the truth, here's a quick retelling of his life and death. Rasputin was born Grigori Yefimovich Novich into a peasant family in Siberia in 1869. He had two known siblings, a sister named Maria and an older brother named Dmitry. Little is known about his early life, but he was said to have shown an interest in religion and mysticism from a young age. Rasputin reportedly showed indications of supernatural powers throughout his childhood. For example, he mysteriously identified the man who had stolen one of his father's horses and developed a reputation for having a knack for identifying thieves. When he was 18, Rasputin underwent a religious conversion at a monastery and then returned to his hometown. Rasputin married Praskovia Fyodorovna Dubrovina in 1889, and they had 3 children, named Dmitry, Varvara, and Maria. In 1901, he left his home in Pokrovskoye as a pilgrim and traveled widely, mostly on foot. He even traveled to Greece, where he visited the holy monks at Mount Athos and Jerusalem. Around 1903, Rasputin arrived in St. Petersburg, near a Russian court that was deeply interested in the esoteric and the occult. Rasputin, who combined a dirty, scruffy appearance with piercing eyes and evident charisma and who proclaimed himself a wandering mystic, was introduced to the court by members of the church and the aristocracy, who were looking for holy men of common stock who would appeal to the court, and who would thus boost their own importance. 1908 saw arguably the crucial event of Rasputin's life. Tsar Nicolas and his wife Alexandra called upon Rasputin to heal their son Alexei, who suffered from hemophilia, a disorder where blood is unable to clot properly. Rasputin was supposedly able to stop Alexei's bleeding, and he quickly became a close advisor to the family per Alexandra's request. While much is debated about Rasputin's mystic powers, historians speculate that Alexei's bleeding actually stopped because Rasputin had the child stop taking aspirin, a known blood thinner. The family soon developed a dependency on Rasputin, and he began to act as its spiritual advisor. Eventually, he became a kind of appointment secretary to the royal couple, a situation which caused considerable resentment among the Russian nobility. Alexandra even came to believe that God spoke to her through Rasputin. In addition to this, he was believed to have the ability to see into the future and predict events, and many of his followers sought his advice on matters of politics and personal affairs. It was widely commented that Rasputin had a powerful presence and was able to charm and manipulate people, especially those in positions of power. This may be linked with another rumored skill he had. Rasputin was said to have the ability to hypnotize people and control their behavior. During the next few years, Rasputin lived something of a double life, acting as a humble peasant while around the immediate royal family, but outside, living a debauched lifestyle, humiliating and seducing noble women, as well as drinking heavily and consorting with prostitutes. The Tsar rejected complaints leveled against the mystic, even exiling some of his accusers. The Holy Synod frequently criticized Rasputin, accusing him of a variety of immoral or evil practices. Because Rasputin was a court official, he and his apartment were under 24-hour surveillance. When in 1914 World War I began, Rasputin was in the hospital after he'd been stabbed by an assassin, and he was deeply opposed to war, both from a moral point of view and as something likely to lead to political catastrophe. Rasputin became the focus of accusations of unpatriotic influence in court. It is generally agreed that on December 16, 1916, having decided that Rasputin's influence over the Tsaritsa had made him a dangerous threat to the empire, a group of nobles, led by Prince Felix Yusupov and the Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich, apparently lured Rasputin to the Yusupovs' Moika Palace, where they served him cakes and red wine laced with a massive amount of cyanide. According to legend, Rasputin was unaffected, although Vasily Maklikov had supplied enough poison to kill 7 men. Frustrated by the failure of the poison, Yusupov shot Rasputin with a revolver. Rasputin fell, and the company left the palace. Yusupov decided to return to get his coat. He also decided to check on the body. When he did so, Rasputin opened his eyes, grabbed Yusupov by the throat, and strangled him. "You bad boy," Rasputin whispered ominously in his ear before throwing him across the room and escaping, but was pursued by Yusupov and the other conspirators, who caught up with him and shot him again. After being hit 3 times in the back, Rasputin fell once more. As they neared his body, the party found that, remarkably, he was still alive, struggling to get up. They clubbed him into submission, and after wrapping his body in a sheet, threw him into an icy river, where he finally met his end. Three days later, the body of Rasputin, shot 4 times and badly beaten, was recovered from the Neva River and autopsied. The cause of death, however, was declared to be hypothermia. His arms were found in an upright position, as if he had tried to claw his way out from under the ice. In the autopsy, it was reportedly found that he had indeed been poisoned, and that the poison alone should have been enough to kill him. However, later investigations have contradicted this. The assassination of Rasputin had a profound impact on the Russian public and further weakened the already unstable monarchy. Many saw it as a symbol of the corrupt and decadent nature of the imperial court and the ruling class as a whole. It also weakened the Tsarina's standing, and she became increasingly isolated and unpopular in the years that followed. The legacy of Rasputin is still debated by historians and the public today. Some see him as a charlatan and a destructive influence on Russian politics and society. Others view him as a complex and misunderstood figure who was unfairly demonized by his enemies. Regardless of one's opinion, there is no denying the impact that Rasputin had on the history of Imperial Russia, and his assassination in 1916 marked a turning point in the collapse of the Romanov dynasty and the Russian Revolution.